All right, what's up, everybody? Back for another day. Today is March 11th, and looking to provide a quick update on the positions. So overall, not much really changed with the Roth. So got out of the Apple puts just because I had the calls, but I'm trying to avoid doing a bunch of day trades as I'm looking to convert this to a margin account and start doing some credit spreads to bring in some additional income. So Apple, looking for still bullish on Apple. We had today was a bit of a sideways-ish kind of day with the overall market just pulling up. In Q, this being the Nasdaq, we had that massive drop down, rallied, and now just 2 days of sideways movement. So when looking at a lot of these tickers, still took out this sell side right here, and then pushing up from there, really looking for this to get above this gap, and that'll give additional confirmation that we could get higher. Target's going to be right here. For this one. So yeah, looking to get through this area here so that we can get to here. But if unable to do that, and we turn over and crash down, then I'll abandon the trade. So that's Apple. Amazon still holding. So no changes on Amazon. Still holding this area here. Still looking for this buy side to be delivered to. If we can get a little bit more profit on call, if we can get more momentum to the upside. You're moving average trader, as you can see, even with Apple, they're starting to come together after being apart for so long. So yeah, gonna keep following this one. Probably move. Yeah, stop up to right here, because if we fall through this, for sure, I would look for this area here to hold, and maybe just returns back to this for an additional entry. But time will tell. I'm hoping that it stays above here and we continue the bullish momentum upwards. Next one, looking at coin. This contract was just getting destroyed today. Not too sure like how it was being calculated, but got out at 294, and was it 260 calls? Yeah, kind of got back to like break even, but for the day. But yeah, this position was suffering for the most part. So probably not the best entry on this one. I do feel that this play is still valid, considering it's holding this gap here. It's above the moving averages, and it's above the halfway point of this. So looking for this to continue to 214. I'm just gonna have to step to the side for a minute, and maybe if there's another entry, can continue on with this one. Chevron had a nice push today. So looking at Chevron, we're sitting inside of this gap here. Energy has been rallying. So I got into this fairly early. I want to say, what time was it? 9:05. So yeah, soon after, it wasn't on this. Yeah, so 9:05, which is 10:05 here. Yeah, so got in this gap right here, and then just pushed to the upside. So ideal entry point, pull back into fair value gap, and then it just pushed its way higher today. And I want to say these are Yeah, this is an old. As is this, yeah. So I'd say my target, honestly, for this, looking at this entire range where price was held for so long, I'm looking for a 203 on this. Wish I would have got some shares, but we'll just play the options trade. I have I believe it's the 210s. Yeah, 210s. So that one's looking good. Google. Yeah, Google's still pushing. No major concerns here. Uh, Possibility, I'm guessing, is maybe it pulls back into this gap here. May have to re-enter at that point, as it might not just run straight here, but at least above, one moving average, and looking for it to continue higher. So no changes here. Microsoft, I got out of this call. Position was just, yeah, it was pulling back, but it came back. It fell out of this one just to come back and hit the top of this gap here. So this top of this 401.72, yeah, 401.59 on the IRA. I was able to re-enter on this one and reposition my play. So that one was just a loss in this account. Nvidia, and then Tesla. Nvidia is still just pushing higher. We now have this gap here. So what we could see is from here to here. Let's take this one off, update the colors. Yeah, could see, dip back into here and then push higher. Or the opposite still reigns true. We're bearish and it comes back. But for this, we now have another sell side liquidity pool sitting here. So no changes there. I got out of my short call on my shares just because I was down 58% on that position. So no reason to take on unnecessary loss. And then lastly, in this account, got Tesla. So Tesla, massive push today. This should be here. Had a strong push today, but has since pulled back on the day. So this position was sitting at, I think, like 20-30% on the run up. Just wasn't able to hold it through the end of the day. So that's the business on the Roth. Quickly flipping over to the IRA. Let's see, we got AMD, AVGO, Meta, Microsoft still in, MSCR, MU, on Pfizer, Target, TSM, and ExxonMobil. Okay, so looking at AMD, just still holding. Oops. No major changes here. Rallied, pushed back. Still looking for the upside, which this is no longer this because we're in calls. Which one of these is higher? 216, 71, 70. So looking for this area here, this 216 to 219 area. Looking for that if we can continue this push upwards. What we are looking at, clean this chart up. So swept sell side over here, push up, market structure shift yesterday, rallied up. So this could pull back to here and then rally. That's a possibility. Would preferably, as we all would love to see it just go straight the direction that we want. But, the market. So yeah, still holding this, looking for the upside potential, possible return here, and then we'll see it, possibly see it rally, go higher. So that's AMD, AVGO. Honestly, this was just did not have the ideal entry. Want to say, yeah, I had this held this position yesterday. It took this, was only up 20%, so I didn't uh, take the win like I should have. So shame on me. But then pulling back into the 1 hour, and it did pull back. I was holding it earlier today, like up to about here ish, between like 10 to 11. And then I got it, and I just like, you know what, I'll wait until it comes back to this 1 hour. It looks like it got close. So that's 338.17. Yeah, 338.25. Honestly, to me, 8 cents that close. I would have, if I was in front of the chart, I probably would have re entered that trade because it's in the vicinity. But this would be a good entry, I'd say, even better entry if it does decide to just, excuse me, if it does decide to just rip through this gap, get in right here. I think that would be even even more of a pullback because then you're also overlapping it with the 1 day as well. So you get another chance right here. But I'm on the sidelines right now with AVGO. Oh, the one that I did want to discuss, there was Boeing. And this one, I did the opposite. It hit the target, got out for $40. So profit is profit. Want to see if it continues. So for this now, seeing if it comes back up into this gap here. And then if it decides to head further down, because right now we're sitting in this gap. Let's see. It's like we landed right in here. So yeah, between these two gaps, it could bounce out of here, come back here, turn over. Since this continues with this bearish trend, I'm looking honestly for 198 on this one, unless it proves otherwise. This is what I'm looking for, 198. So $14 I got mixed up in all this business, this back and forth here. I got faked out. Not even gonna lie, but yeah, can look for entry here. And then if we go down further, yeah, this being the daily, yeah, we could see, if it decides to reach into that. Or we could possibly see it, here, and then you even have here. So ideally, given this price leg down so far, ideal entry would be this gap here. And then I'll just put, this will be early. And the reason this one's better too, you're inside the daily SIBI, and this one, so you have confluence on two time frames. So that's the better option. If not, it looks like there's a small one. This one I might, just look at in the morning, see where we're at. So that's Boeing. Coin I already discussed. Intel. Yeah, so this one, did not mean to buy this. I accidentally sold my entire position. I had two contracts at 100%, and I accidentally sold both of them. So I accidentally entered the March 20th 49 when I meant to enter the um, April 49 calls. So this, I had to get back into the position. So this right here is technically what, 100%. So this is technically 88% just because I sold it, then had to buy back into it. So yeah, this will show negative, but this contract is paid for with the 100% that I took right. This one right here. Yeah, with these two right here on this line, yeah, I sold out of two instead of one. So this was 100% on this trade, and show you the numbers on this one. Yeah, so got into three of them at 193. Sold the first one 294, and then this one right here should have only been one for 100%. So that's the business on that one. So technically, that position's not negative. It's just because I had to re-enter. So that's Intel. Went over AVGO. Meta. Meta, just holding. Looks like, just a consolidation day. Looks like it had a pullback into this gap here and held, but still holding. No changes on Meta. Microsoft, as I reiterated earlier, pulled back to that other daily fair value gap, so got in on that. MicroStrategy, still holding, no changes here, still holding this inversion gap, so still holding that. Micron, similar to my shares position, still bullish after yesterday and looking for a continuation to the upside. Really looking forward to take these relative equal highs. Because we have earnings coming up, if we get here before next Wednesday, then I'll take the option off for sure. What I might do as a bit of an experiment is I'll sell half the shares here, so I'll capture the profit. I'll leave remainder of the shares on and buy a put and see how that plays through earnings, and go from there. So that's defensive opportunity for that one. On semiconductor, got into this yesterday. Inside this 1 day gap, entered with it coming off of this 1 hour BISI. So no changes. Yeah, it just came back. We're moving sideways. Came back, offered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries at this level. So yeah, down 26%. Not the best, but no reason to abandon ship yet. Got 37 days, so we'll hold. Pfizer finally showing some life. Coming out of this 1 day busy. And I mean, the crazy part about this is, and this is what's so weird about options, was it 26.45 was around the entry. It's now 27.30. You'd think that this would be up more than 20%, but gotta love options. Palantir, this was just a simple pullback to this daily right here. Got in on this entry. Now looking for 165.08. Software within the IT sector has had a bit of a push. Microsoft was pushing with it, but looks like it just pulled back today. Next, we have Target. Yeah, my target position was pulling back. So what I'm thinking of doing with this one is, it came back to this 1 hour. Possibly could have re-entered, but this, similar to AVGO, we'll have to look for just another entry. AVGO, I think, will offer another entry. I'm hoping, this stays here until one of my other trades plays out. But, that would be, I feel like it's a good entry on target right now. TSM, one of the few tickers that I will trade outside of the NASDAQ 100, S&P 100, and Dow 30, and has very good liquidity on options contracts. Ran up, pulled back into this 1 hour. And held that throughout the day. Looking at the daily, looking for this to do something similar to MU, just kind of, push through and see if we can get back to all-time highs. First goal is here. And you've also got this gap fill. So halfway through the gap, we'll hit our buy side liquidity and then see if we can fill in the rest of that. And then last trade, Exxon Mobil. Beautiful bounce off the weekly. I got into this around similar time. I'd say that I got into Chevron. 9:15. So going down to the 60, 9:15. Oh, wait, hold on. 15. Wait a minute. What is, hold on, because that's Eastern. This would be 10:15. Okay. So this one, not the cleanest. It was pulling back and got in on that. This one, not the best entry. This was more of a momentum entry. So this would be my third preference when it comes to entries. But with energy pushing, it'll be up on this contract. Ideally, would have just caught this off the weekly right here around that 148 level and be $3 up from there. But that's the business for today. No major gains. So 507, gain today in the rollover, and then $25 in the Roth. But all's good. Thank you all for joining me again. Once again, this is not financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes only. I hope you're able to learn something, and I'll talk with you all again tomorrow. Have a good one.